Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is part 9 of my timber frame project. And what I'm going to be doing today is continuing with the batten. The boards are up, now it's time to get the batten done. I've already done the back of it and I've done the far side, so I've just got this one side left. What I have left to do is I got to finish cutting up the last 6 boards. What I've done is I've got all the boards up on the top on each side. Those are for the top. They're already cut, and most of the boards are here. I only have 6 left to cut the length for the bottom, so let's get that done. So the first thing I'm going to do is just going to square them up. Just make a line here to get the boards all nice and square. I can hold on to my square. And then I'm just going to measure them all to length, mark them up. I find it much quicker to just do it this way, to mark them all and then to cut them rather than doing one at a time. I just do them in batches of 5 or 6 boards or 5 or 6 battens. Now the ones here that I have, they're all different lengths, so they're usually I have all the boards with the same length, but this time I'm only doing the ones with different lengths. We'll just make our lines. I gotta check that one, measure twice, cut once, guys. I want to make sure I had this one right. Yep, 79. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up and I'll cut them all at once. I have 3 different lengths, as you can see here. Gotta get this guy right about there. Everything that I do, I try to do it like batch processing. I'll do all the measuring, all the cutting, all the nailing, all in batches, rather than doing a board, cut it, put it on the wall, come back, cut it, put it on the wall. It wastes too much time, so I do it in the batch all the time like this. So we'll cut this here. Little kickback from the saw there. That's because the boards are not even. I don't have enough weight to press it down. So the one thing about the cordless drill or cordless saw is that it kicks, but it doesn't have to kick like an electric one, so it's a little safer to use for doing stuff like this. So the next thing I got to do is I got to mark all my nail lines. Now that's basically where I want my pattern on my nails. As you can see here, I've got them all in a row. So I've got a template here, and I'm just going to mark it all up. So I can just line my boards. So that's my top, and I'll just mark it down as I go with each line here. So it just makes it easier to keep your nails in line. And it gives it a little bit nicer look when it's finished. As I mentioned in my previous video, that I want the nails showing, so I'm not using nails with or finished nails. I'm using nails with a head like that, so that's going to be exposed. So I kind of want them all in the line. And there should be one more here on the bottom. Well, the bottom one, yeah, on the bottom one for these ones are going on the cement blocks over there. So these ones here are going to be slightly different. I just got to raise it just a little bit. Okay, so I've got about, I think about 95% of my boards, or maybe 99% of the boards, all cut for the side, for both the top and the bottom. So the next thing to do is to install them. So I'm going to go up on the scaffolding and I'm going to install the boards. Well, all right, guys, all the battens are up. Basically, just going to go over a few things. What I'll do is I'm going to tell you a few tips, and then we'll just do a quick walk around and take a look at all the batten that's been put up. One thing I want to talk about are the board sizes. Basically, by using a smaller board like I did, I used a 6-inch board, and the difference between if I had used an 8-inch board or a 10-inch board, and I just wrote this down and I'll put it up on the screen here in a minute. I used 148 boards to go around this side, the back, and the other side. I had sectioned it up. I have a bottom section and the top section on each side, and on the back they're just straight one full length boards. So a couple things, if you have a full length board, obviously from the top to the bottom you need to have an extension on your mill. In order to do that, you need the length in order to get a full length board. Also, you need to have the availability of having much longer logs than an 8-foot or a 10-foot log. So the big difference here, if I would have done a 8-inch instead of a 6-inch board, I used 148 6-inch boards. I would have used 112 boards. If I would have used a 10-inch board, I would have used 84 boards. So that's a considerable difference. And on top of that, that applies to the battens as well. I used 144 battens at 6-inch width, 108 if you do it at a 8-inch width, and you would only use 80 battens if you're going to do a 10-inch board. Now that all comes down to, you know, how the look is and what you like as far as the aesthetics of it, and also it takes a lot longer to put that many more boards. But you have the shortcuts of going with a wider board and a longer board. But one of the big things with a wider board is, if you look, the longer the board is, the more chance that you're going to get a bow, and especially in the battens because they're thin. And if you look here on the side, you can see I've got that flat against the wall. You can see how much that has a bow in it, and if I push it tight, you're okay. So when you're installing these things, one thing to remember is that you may have noticed that I use the level a lot, and basically you're going to use the level at the top. You're going to put your nail in, and then you're going to keep leveling it all the way down. And the reason I did that is because there's a lot of times the bow in the wood, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's always going to be some bow, so you want to get them as straight as possible. The other thing is, when I pound the nails in, there's a couple things you can do. You can pound it so the nail goes through like this a little bit, and then when you put the batten up, you can feel in between, and you can feel the slot. If you're using a nail gun or screws, it's a little bit different. The screws you can put it on. Basically, you're just going to eyeball it, and you're going to line it up with the center crack that would have been there where the between the two boards, and you're going to insert the nail with the nail gun. Now, obviously, I use nails. That brings me to my next point. There was a big difference in usage of nails. I used approximately 916 nails versus 8-inch board, which would be 694 nails, and 518 nails if you use a 10-inch board. So a considerable amount of nails, much difference between the 8 to the 10-inch, or sorry, from the 6 to the 10-inch board. And also there's additional costs, you know, more nails that you're going to use. The other thing about the nails, what I'd done a few different things. It's a lot quicker to hang all your stuff up. You notice I hang, and basically you put the nails in, and then you just put the top one in, and then you work your way down. It's much quicker than to do one board, nail it, and then go to the next board, nail it, and go to the next board. So a couple other things. Don't pound your nails in too deep, or if you're using screws, don't put them in too deep because you're going to end up splitting your wood. The other thing too, use a nail gun or an impact driver if you have shoulder problems or arm problems, because that's a lot of swinging with the hammer. Myself, I really enjoy it. I don't have any issues with my shoulder. So, and basically when you're pounding the nails in, you want to make sure that you can kind of feel the nail go through the slot between the two boards. it should just go through nicely. There should be a little bit of freedom at first, and then it should make contact with the board behind that the nail is long enough. So anyways, guys, let's just take a quick look over the front, or sorry, the side here. We'll walk around through the back and then to the other side. As I mentioned, here in the back, they're just full one length boards. And then again on the other side here, you can notice that my nails are all kind of lined up. When I was getting them all set up, I made my lines so that my nails would all line up. And then we'll look from the inside. And now you can see from the inside all the light through the all the boards and the battens. You can see the battens here. So all the light that's been blocked from the in the air can be blocked from the board and the battens in there. So basically that's the board and battens all done up. So really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Gelling Outdoors.